Leader, point of order.
Of our new church in the federal constituency. I'm from Delta State. I'm, by the grace of God, the minority leader of this house. Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 8, Rule 4 and 7, matter of urgent national importance. Mr. Speaker, what I'm coming up with is in respect of what we witnessed yesterday, where the Shiite invaded National Assembly and so many things happened. So I seek the leave of this House that will take this motion because I find it very, very important. I find it germane. I find it very necessary that we discuss it and see how we can amicably provide solution to what happened yesterday.
I represent Martin Mungunongenza Federal Constituency of Borno State. In tandem with our rules, which is our Bible and Quran, I want to move that we suspend our rules to take more than 2 matters of urgent public importance. I so move.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Hon Ndudi Elumelu.
My motion borders on the invasion of this National Assembly by Shiite group. The House notes that a group called the Shiite invaded National Assembly yesterday, Tuesday, July 9, 2019. The House is aware that yesterday's invasion by the Shiite group led to physical encounter between the group and the security agencies assigned to protect the lives and properties of people in National Assembly. The House is worried that lives were allegedly lost yesterday, and many police officers and our set of arms were brutally injured. The House is concerned that this action has exposed the porous nature of this National Assembly. Further concerned that visitors are allowed into these premises without proper checks. The House therefore resolves that the internal security of this assembly is thoroughly assessed and adequate measures employed to mitigate against further occurrence. The House also resolved that government should, as a matter of urgency, engage this strike group so as to amicably resolve whatever is their grievances. The House also resolved that we find ways of compensating the officers who were affected and hospitalized yesterday as a result of this occurrence. The House further resolved to ascertain if the sergeant at arms and the officers of the police force are insured under the group personal accident scheme and workmen compensation, and if not, direct Committee on Police Affairs and Committee on Internal Security, when constituted, to incorporate it in their national budget and ensure implementation of same. Thing that took us by surprise happened. Some members of the Shiite group invaded this assembly, overpowered our security agencies, and of course, the properties of staff of this National Assembly were destroyed, vehicles and other items, and even in some cases, people's bags, money, and whatever were taken away from them. And Mr. Speaker, we were in this hollow chamber when the news filtered, and we all went out. And of course, on a lighter mood, Mr. Speaker, I noticed that some members were even afraid to follow you. Mr. Speaker, you went outside to see what was happening. But of course, naturally, nobody wants to die. Immediately, some members heard what happened. Most of them retreated. But you went ahead, not only to find out what was happening, you also went to the clinic in company of us and the leader and other members of this House to find out what actually happened. But that is not the issue, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you go out, either in the Senate or in the House of Reps, or even the management premises, you find people finding themselves entering these offices without proper check. And also at the gate, Mr. Speaker, it is difficult for members, for honorable members, to find their way into the chamber. And this has resulted in what has happened yesterday, where the Shiite group were able to overpower the security agencies and invaded the assembly. Mr. Speaker, I may not know what is the reason or the cause of why this happened, but I think that government, having been sworn into office, swore to protect lives and properties of Nigerians, particularly in FCT. And I, of course, am aware that one of the cardinal points of this government is to ensure that you protect lives and create other infrastructural development that will make life meaningful to people. And Mr. Speaker, where this is not available, the next thing that you can find is anarchy, where everybody, if we're coming to the chamber, what you now need to do is to go and get arm and put it in your pocket because you don't know what next that can happen when you are in this place. So, Mr. Speaker, without wasting the time of every member, I think that several things we need to check. One, the people that came here to invade us, why did they invade this assembly? Was it caused by us, the honorable members? Or is it that there are issues that are bothering them and they felt that National Assembly would be a place that can respond to them as quick as possible and ensure that the issues are resolved? Or is it that the executive arm refused to listen to them and they felt that the only way to do it was to vent their anger in us and even the staff of National Assembly? Mr. Speaker, I think that these are issues that should be looked into. But most importantly, Mr. Speaker, yesterday you and I, we followed you to the hospital and we saw some officers who were brutally injured. In this instance, government does not really need to spend so much in doing that. If at all, that those officers, either our sergeant at arms, that there was a provision in the budget to ensure that there's a group personal accident scheme where when this kind of situation occurs, we will not need to begin to look for money to see how we can compensate them. I think that the committee, the relevant committee, need to look into it so that when budget is being prepared, once it is ascertained that such policies were not put in place, that it is put in place, because these people are moving around trying to protect us, trying to protect the properties of National Assembly. In the course of trying to do that, there should be a measure, a policy put in place for them, so that if anything happens, we are not praying that they should die in the course of serving their country. But in the event that something like this, that what happened yesterday happens, there should be a provision where such people can be compensated. Yesterday, you were asking a question. You asked the medical director that how can issues like this be resolved in terms of ensuring that the bills, medical bills, are paid. Honestly, Mr. Speaker, if these officers were insured, we don't need to bother ourselves. It will automatically be taken care of by the insurance companies that had initially insured them against workmen compensation, against group personal accident scheme. So I think that thoroughly, this House should set up a committee that will interface with the executive and ensure that the matter that is being canvassed by the Shiite group that led them to invade National Assembly can amicably be resolved, so that we can have a peaceful atmosphere to actually make laws for good governance of the people of Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, the other one is to also ensure the security of this assembly. When you go out or you are coming in, You see people you don't know. They will immediately evade you. Some will claim that they are from your constituency, meanwhile they are not from your constituency. Some will say that they have been asked to come and see you. Some will say they are looking for employment. By the time you interview them properly, you find out they are not even looking for employment and they are not from the constituency. So I think that the sergeant at arms need to be fortified for them to do their proper job. There shouldn't be any opportunity given to people who are not cleared to come into this place to just evade the assembly. So for the protection of members, Mr. Speaker, I think that there should be a measure, maybe bringing up a card where every member, if you want somebody to come and see you or somebody from your constituency, you will have to give that card to them at the gate, and that will clear members who will want to come and see every honorable member. So having said this, Mr. Speaker, I think that this motion is very germane. I think that it's something that we must look into and ensure that the safety of those working in this place and, of course, the honorable members are quite protected. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it.